No, where'd you go, sir? Everyone turned into the same person. I don't know where you went. There you are. Go.
Oh shit! What was that?
You know, war is hell, but thankfully we can recreate the hell of war in the comfort of our own homes through video games. Released on PC to Steam Early Access in 2016 and developed and published by New World Interactive, the same folks behind Insurgency, it's Day of Infamy. This will be a part 1 of 2 review covering the early access version of the game with no rating or final opinion given since this game is still in development. Part 2 will be released once the full and completed game is released. And of course, for transparency, codes were sent to us by the developer through a PR network. Running on the source engine, Day of Infamy originated as a mod for Insurgency, which itself began its life as a source mod. Insurgency, however, being more grounded and set in modern-day combat, Day of Infamy, on the other hand, is set during the events of World War II, spread out across iconic battles such as D-Day, for example, allowing you to play as 3 different key factions in the war: the US, the Commonwealth Army, and of course the Nazis.
Let's play multiplayer, you see.
Giving you 3 different game modes as well: single player, co-op, and multiplayer. Each of these are pretty self-explanatory. In co-op, you and up to 7 other people go against waves of bots as you either take or defend specific areas. If your squad is wiped out, you fail. However, if you manage to capture an area or fall back to a designated location, your squad can be respawned. In the single player, however, you basically play with bots against waves of AI enemies, and your AI companions with the same rules for the most part. As for the multiplayer, the game features a number of different modes across a player count of up to 32 players. Once again, these same rules apply for the most part as co-op for each of the different game types. However, this time, each team will have a specific amount of spawn waves they'll be given. Once either team runs out of spawn waves or all the areas are captured, the match is over. But is Day of Infamy any good? Let's find out first with the good. The best aspect of Day of Infamy is simply the gunplay approach to realism. Taking inspiration from games such as the similarly named Day of Defeat and Red Orchestra 2, the gunplay is more grounded towards reality in the sense that a good shot to the chest from a bolt-action rifle will drop you like a sack of potatoes. Adding to this, the game remains hardcore in nature, with no crosshairs while hip-firing, no ammo counter on most weapons, forcing you to count your shots or reload at the given chance, and very few HUD elements in general. And of course, everyone's favorite, friendly fire.
Jesus Christ.
But probably my favorite thing about this game is actually the general banter and audio from the soldiers themselves.
Hey! Someone fall back and bring some of the lads up here!
Stand down!
Either when you're reloading, shooting at enemies, or in this case, burning them to a crisp. And if you couldn't already tell, the game features a flamethrower. You know, that alone deserves appreciation. My next favorite aspect of this game, though, is the way it handles respawns. Pretty much copying that of Insurgency, which makes sense. As I mentioned earlier, if you manage to capture a specific point on the map or fall back to a designated area, it will respawn your team. Otherwise, the game will respawn your team after a specific amount of time, or if your entire team has been wiped out. Each team will be given only a certain amount of spawn waves. And in my opinion, this forces players to play more carefully, but more importantly, focus on the objective as opposed to running and gunning, which is fantastic. But of course, like any multiplayer game, this game will live or die by its community. And with that said, your online experience may vary. But with all that said, let's now discuss the bad. Day of Infamy's biggest issue is easily optimization and bugs. Considering though this game is early access, bugs and glitches are to be expected, so this is fairly minor.
Oh, another floating head. Oh, another one. And another one. Floating heads everywhere.
Wow!
However, the optimization for this game is awful in my own experience. Despite this game running on source and looking fairly dated for a 2016 release, almost looking like a game that could have been released a decade ago in 2006, on my own setup personally, I was averaging anywhere from 60 FPS at its best to 30 FPS most of the time, and at times, very rarely though, dipping even below this. Not to mention the odd game crash from either switching tabs or just random crashes altogether. I'll have my computer specs down below in the description if anyone is interested, but honestly, I don't see how a source game like this can run this bad on my setup. But with that said, keep in mind, this is just my own opinion, and this is my own setup. On my co-host setup, it ran fine. So this could just be sporadic. But with all that said, now it's time I give an idea or two. Since, of course, this is an early access game, I won't be giving my final opinion or rating for this review. You'll have to wait for my part 2 and full release review for that if you're interested. But it's not like we do the average rating system anyways if you've seen our previous videos. Instead, I'll just be listing some things I'd like to possibly see in the full release, no demands or anything like that. I'd definitely like to see more factions to choose from, like the Russians and Japanese forces. Mind you, the 3 we got are pretty solid and there's some pretty great battles between these, but honestly, I would definitely like to see the Russian front and definitely the Pacific-Japanese conflict. And with that said, on the topic of the Japanese-US conflict can make for some great map designs and locations. With all this great recorded dialogue that's used, I'd love to see a possible single-player campaign mode be added. But that's definitely, like I said, pretty demanding stuff. But honestly, I think it would make dropping $20 a lot easier to swallow if this game had a full-functioning single-player campaign. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's review, and stay tuned for part 2 once the game is fully released. I'll include an annotation right here for that video, as well as at the start of the video. Or if you can't see it and you're on a phone or a mobile device, check the description down below. But with that said, check out our previous videos, cue the annotations.